All right, so welcome back to another episode here on Sandy Bay Media. This is the first one we've done of this kind. We're going to be looking at the results from New South Wales, Queensland and South Australia in the NPLW and looking at how the teams went. So I'm joined by Hannah and George, who are going to help me out. Hello, guys.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Welcome. Anytime, mate. You're always welcome here, Ewan. So to kick things off, Hannah's just going to give us a recap of the results from New South Wales.
Hi everyone, I'm Hannah Bourke. So the results, Blacktown Spartans played Manly United, in which the Spartans came off with a 3-0 win. Bankstown City versus Sydney Olympic, in which Olympic won 5-1. Football New South Wales Institute played Stingrays and Institute won 3-0. RPR Leichhardt versus Sydney Uni, to which Uni won 2-0. The North West Sydney Koalas played the Macarthur Rams, and Koalas came away with a 2-1 victory, but it was washed out at half-time. And the Tigers and Northern Tigers and the Newcastle Jets did not play due to a COVID breach.
Wow. Thank you for that. And over to George.
Thanks, Rod. We'll start with SA. Made round 9 on the weekend. Adelaide City defeated Comets 8-1. Metro United played the Football SA NTC. Metro coming away with a 3-2 win. Probably the two challenges, Adelaide City, Salisbury Inter and West Adelaide faced off, with Inter running out 2-1 winners. And Adelaide Junior broke their duck for the season and won their first game by beating Fulham 2-0. Gold Coast defeated Logan 2-1. South were defeated at home by the Gap by the same score, 2-1. Eastern Suburbs and Southwest Queensland played out a 1-1 draw. Mind you, do yourself a favour and get on Southwest Queensland's Facebook page and see the equaliser. Lions defeated the QAS 4-0, and last night Mitchelton were defeated by 7-2 by Capalaba.
So I looked at all of the games. My most detailed one was between the Blacktown Spartans and Manly United. Mm-hmm. The Spartans were coming off a loss, and obviously they're looking to redeem themselves against Manly United, who are very strong contenders for finals football this season. It was a very cold and wet afternoon, in which the goal didn't come to the 19th minute, where Casey Jamont actually released it into Charlie Grant in a counter-attack, which then saw her and Cooney Cross do a 1-2, where they found Linda Dudek in the box, who put it away for the opening goal. The second goal came from a very similar situation. Down the left side, Charlie Grant played it to Cara Cooney Cross, who let it come across her body and then rifled it into the left netting, which was a very good strike, by the way. And then they both had their chances within the game. And then there was a crossbar effort from Rosie Galea from 40 yards out, which gave them a lot of confidence going into their third and final goal of the game, where Kyra played a free kick into Candice Cabarrus, who did very well to keep it in, to which she crossed the ball, and it was very poorly cleared by a Manly defence, to which Ashley Crofts pounced on it and scored a Nicole Simonson's goal. So that capped off a very good win and confidence into the next game. The next game I'll be reviewing is Football New South Wales Institute versus the Illawarra Stingrays. Institute did win 3-0. So the first goal came from a well-delivered ball from the right side, to which they perfectly found the feet of Briley Henry, who with her first attempt hit the post, but then didn't fail in finding the netting with her second attempt. The second goal was very good team play. It was almost like an Arsenal goal in the EPL. Absolutely, it was brilliant. So the ball came from the left side, and they were doing some one-touch playing in the midfield up top of the box, where they played in behind the Stingrays' defence, and just an easy slot in from Holly McNamara. And then there was a few chances, and Stingrays didn't clear their lines, to which Scarlett Thomas just hit the ball home in the bottom left corner to seal the game up for the Institute. Obviously, RPO are newly promoted and they've got some very good signings in their team, to which they versed the winners of the last season, Sydney University. So there was a lot of chances in the first half from both sides, and RPO hitting the post, but and they were locked at half time, so 0-0. Second half, the goal came from a free kick to where the Sydney University free kick taker, Claire Wheeler, she actually dummied it, rolled it to Rachel Sutar, who then smashed the ball into the top right corner with her right foot. The goalkeeper had no chance. And then the second goal was actually another free kick taken by Tori Tumeth, who actually sent the ball from halfway very deep into the RPA's box to where it evaded everyone and just bounced in. So, and there was a lot of saves from Courtney Newborn and some, there was a couple of saves from Courtney Newborn and a lot of chances from RPR, but Sydney Uni defended well enough to keep the clean sheet and have the win for that week.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Hannah. So, just a question for you.
Yeah.
What performance stood out for you over the weekend out of those results?
In terms of team or player?
Both.
So team was definitely Blacktown Spartans. So I watched all the games every week.
Okay.
They came off a pretty disappointing loss last week where they could not finish their chances.
Yep.
They had a lot of possession, but obviously Rams took their chances last week. But this week they just came with a whole new attitude. They lost one of their key midfielders, but they obviously put experience in there, and they just Manly play a very hard formation to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And they just countered it very well. They pressed them into areas that they did not want to play in and won the ball, and their counter-attack's very great, Blacktown Spartans. So they obviously capitalised on them, and that was a really good performance and clean sheet from them, I thought, considering a lot of interruptions they've had during the season.
Fantastic. Thank you for that.
We'll start with South Australia. Obviously, so this weekend, it was actually probably the first weekend I didn't watch a full game in South Australia for the last 4 weeks, as I was looking at a coaching job over there at the time. I did catch the second half of Adelaide City and Comets, the 8-1. Interesting result, considering it was 2-1 at half time. But Comets goalkeeper Claudia Jenkins got injured, and an outfield player had to go in goal. So up until then, I thought Comets, from my understanding, Comets were right up in the game. But Adelaide City, being Adelaide City over there, banged on 6 in the last 30 minutes. Chelsea Dorber scored 6 to take her tally to 21 in 8 games.
21 in 8 games.
So, City score goals for fun. They've got 24 in the last 4. So, like I said, the Inter-West Adelaide won 2 challenges to Adelaide City. Would have been a really, really good game. Corte Rojas being the difference, a Chilean international with 2 goals, taking her tally to 14 now, which let Inter break away from the pack a little bit now in second place, and probably cement themselves as genuine title challengers this year. Tracy Jenkins she's assembled a really good squad there. I mean, with Corte Rojas, obviously with Rachel Quigley's gone there. Emily Condon is there as well. They've really got promoted a couple of years ago, and they've really started to come into their own in the league.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And like I said, Uni. It's taken them 9 rounds, but they got their first win of the season. So I know my mate Costa Yarich will be very pleased with that. It gets them up off the bottom of the table, so he'll be very pleased.
So same question that I threw to Hannah. Apart from Adelaide City, were there any other standout performances in your eyes?
Look, I dare say Inter. It's West Adelaide are a genuine powerhouse in the NPL SA. They're coached by Adrian Sandtrack, who was a former Matilda's coach.
Okay.
So they're always up there and around the mark. So for Inter to beat them 2-1 in what I would assume would have been a really, really tough game on a cold Friday night. Okay, Queensland. I happened to go to Mitchelton and Capalaba, so I'll let that one be the last one.
Yep.
The notes I do have on the Queensland game, so obviously it was a tight game on Friday night or Saturday between two absolute contenders, Gold Coast and Logan. These two teams have brought in absolute quality players. Logan recently signing Amy Jackson and Anna Margraf from Raw. Gold Coast obviously running out 2-1 winners. Alex Medallo's really got himself a good side down there. I watched them last week against Mitchelton, and they were pretty dominant, especially in the first half. So they're a real. I mean, we played against them in pre-season and got smacked, albeit in our first week of pre-season. But they've got quality all over the park. The Gap last week got themselves, I think they were 4-0 down against East at half time and drew and ended up losing 5-4. Got themselves a good win, bouncing back after last week, which was a good result for them as South had a good win last week against Capalaba. The one I've been impressed with is the Southwest Queensland Thunder and Eastern Suburbs drawing 1-1. Thunder, if you don't know your history sort of here, it's Thunder are they've struggled. We spoke about some other clubs that do struggle in leagues in the country, and Thunder are one of those teams. They're based out of Toowoomba, which is it's probably an hour and a half from where I am or it's over an hour and a bit from where I am near Ipswich. So an hour and a half probably out of Brisbane. So they always find it difficult to attract players and things like that. But they've got 2 draws in a row now, and East are unbeaten and have been putting teams away for fun. So really good result for them. Like I said, do yourself a favour and have a look at Mel Lloyd's goal in the 87th minute to equalise, because it was an absolute bomb. Brings me to Mitchelton and Capalaba last night. Obviously went down there as my old housemate was playing for Mitchelton. The girl I signed from Melbourne. I was expecting a massive game. I was really expecting a tight game. Both teams needed to win. Unfortunately, only one turned up to win. Capalaba probably dominant from the beginning. Got themselves a 2-0 lead in the first 20 minutes, courtesy of Nat Tatham and Steph Latham. Can you hear my wife in the background? Okay. Mitchelton then pulled one back through Rebecca Horsey, capitalising on an error after some good pressing by Kelsey Minton. Then Capalaba went back into a 3-1 lead at half-time, courtesy of Amy Chapman. So 3-1 half-time. Second half, probably expected a bit more of a fight back from Mitchelton. First minute of the second half, conceded a goal, making it 4-1, and then Capalaba just kept on piling on the pressure and scoring goal after goal. And Steph Latham completed a hat-trick by the 62nd minute. I think it was really one-sided, and Capalaba were very good for their win, considering last week was probably a surprise loss to the Souths. Mitchelton, I don't want to be too rough on them because I know a lot of people out there, but 3 losses on the bounce post-COVID, probably not good enough. Their last 2 performances in particular, the first half against Gold Coast and pretty much all of last night, would probably have them really asking questions of themselves. So need to bounce back. Because I think with the squad that they have, 4 points in the first 6 games probably isn't good enough.
Fair enough. Thank you guys for joining me. This has been brilliant having you guys on here in the first episode of this, and hopefully we can do more and look at it a little bit more in depth going into the future. Thanks for tonight.
No worries.
Thank you.